All right, before we get into the video, we're chasing 100,000 YouTube subscribers, so help us out. Click the subscribe button. Join us on the journey.
All right, let's go to the NFC. Contenders and pretenders. NFC East, the two contenders, potential contenders. Eagles and Cowboys. Who are contenders and pretenders in the East?
The Eagles still are, even though they're wobbling significantly, I think.
What a crazy team they are.
Yeah.
It is. I don't think we overplayed the story from 2023. And the number of, when we mentioned it a lot. What's happening in the chat here?
Serio's found the screenshot of Chuck Berry's wide eyes.
Oh, where is this? Now I have to stop and look. It's stalling.
It's pretty impressive.
Oh, where did he put it? In the chat? In the big chat?
Yeah.
It's bad podcasting here.
Bad radio.
Anyway, I'll look at it in a minute. The fact that the Eagles were 10-1 in 2023, and they beat the Chiefs and the Bills. They beat all these good teams.
Yeah.
And then collapsed.
Yes.
And when they went 10-1, you know, if you're a fan of a team that's winning all the close games, you're like, who cares? We're just winning. The argument against would be the Eagles team that won all the close games. But it was kind of different, too. It wasn't that they just stopped losing close games. It's like they legitimately had no rhythm on offense, had no idea how to, answer a blitz.
Yeah, everything fell apart.
And the defense fell apart.
Right.
It looked like they were playing with 10 guys on the field at all times.
And everything they tried to change, like they made coaching changes, everything they tried to change only made it worse.
Did they bring in Patricia that year?
Yeah.
Who doesn't even run that scheme.
Right.
Anyway.
It's like, that'll fix it.
So there was a lot of crazy stuff going on in 2023. So then last year, they looked just as dominant, and we're just always like, oh, let's just wait, make sure there's no collapse. But it felt different last year, didn't it? It was like they're winning different ways. They're like Saquon Barkley's doing his thing, and the pass game was good, and you see Fangio and the defense coming together, and it felt like they made the right coordinator moves. But now I don't trust that offense, man. I don't trust that offense to put together a full game. Are they capable talent-wise? Yes. Is the offensive line a hit? I mean, like taking a hit from where it's been? Sure. But they're still good talent-wise.
Yeah.
They haven't put together a full game yet.
This is one, though, where this is one where it is the prior version that I'm leaning on, the way we just said it isn't with the Chiefs. Because this group effectively has done this before and then actually clicked into gear, it's at least obviously possible. Now, it's also possible that it never happens and they spiral out of control the way they did in 2023. But because I know it's possible that they click into gear and they just put it together for a while, I think they have to stay contenders.
I'm with you. I think we see the game through similar eyes in a lot of ways. So I'm not ready to write them off.
Right.
But I'm in between their collapsing in 2023
yeah.
and they are the best team in the league in 2024, which became more obvious as the year went on.
Yeah.
This year it's becoming less obvious that they're
remember,
among the best in the NFC.
They're only a couple of weeks, removed from beating Green Bay, from beating Detroit. Like, they've beaten some good teams recently. It's just that the last two have been, losses to Dallas and then.
And those don't feel, and we're guilty of this too. Those were ugly defensive wins, right? 10-7, and they.
But that's like
dominated Detroit.
That's how good they can be, right?
I agree.
They can beat contending teams.
But now, here's the similarity to 23 is when remember they added Kevin Byard in the secondary, and he looked cooked because he's always in and around these coverage busts. Now he's great for Chicago. They just new things popped up in that collapse. The new thing that's popped up for Philadelphia is them giving up 280
defense.
on the ground when they shouldn't, right? When they have the defensive tackles and the linebackers to stop the run.
I mean, I'm willing to put
that's what I'm keeping an eye on.
I'm willing to put that down to a bad day at the office until I see it happen again.
Or good for the Bears. Cowboys. Contender, pretender.
I'm going to lean on pretender for the moment. The offense is very, very good. The defense is definitely improving. I still don't know if they're good enough overall to go on that run. And also, by the way, because it's Dallas, you also have to add in the fact that once they get to the playoffs, they're going to Dallas it.
That's the thing, because even in their best seasons, they still had this playoff hump that they couldn't get over, and it looks different in the playoffs.
Yeah. And it isn't just a playoff hump where it's like the Bills, right, where they can play well and they just 13 seconds, right? They just run out on the crappy end of like a razor-thin margin. Dallas gets to the playoffs, and they're like, we've never played football before. Like, it's unbelievable what happens to them.
But could Shoddy be the difference here?
Maybe.
Different attitude, different style. He's more aggressive.
Different mentality.
He's not going to turtle up.
Mentality monster, Brian Schottenheimer.
Like, if you were stacking Cowboys teams over the last 5 or 6 years, I don't think you'd put this in the top 2 or 3.
Right.
They've had some excellent teams, but this might be the team that they need.
I think they are more of a team that maybe scare you for somebody in the playoffs, but I don't think they can really go on that.
You don't want to play the Cowboys.
You don't want to play the Cowboys, but I don't think they can do that 4 times in a row.
All right, I'll lean. I'm calling them a contender.
They're also, by the way, if nothing else, they only have a 38% chance of making the playoffs, even if they win this week.
They're the Chiefs.
Aside from anything else, they're fairly unlikely to even make the dance, let alone go on a run
the
once they
Chiefs,
get there.
don't let them in. Don't let them in. Don't let the Cowboys in.
But the Chiefs have a better shot of making it right now than the Cowboys do.
NFC North, Bears, Packers, and Lions, contenders and pretenders.
Bears, Packers, Lions. Packers, contenders.
Agreed.
The Lions are tough because they're kind of like the Chiefs, where I think if they make it, they're capable. But they're getting less and less likely to make it at all. And then the Bears, I guess you have to call them contenders at this point.
They have to be, right?
It's hard to say they're not, because their defense has shown the ability to do really well. Their run game just hung 250 on somebody, and Caleb Williams is capable of spectacular plays, and they have a good receiving core around him, even if it's inconsistent. And Ben Johnson is a very good play caller, I think is a good coach, and has a deep bag of tricks, which presumably can be useful at some point. Are they consistent? No. Can you write them off as contenders because of that? I don't think so.
All right, so let me start with this. I'm with you on the Packers. I think the Packers have the high-end ability on both sides of the ball. Jordan Love just played MVP ball against the Lions in a big game. He can make the special downfield throws. Those are field-flipping, game-changing plays. He has those in the bag, and he has played really well this year. Mm-hmm. Highly efficient offense. Overall, with some duds in there, right, as an offense. And the defense has the high-end ability as well. Micah Parsons has been a game-changer there. So definitely contenders. The Lions, I think the injuries have caught up. But that's my concern. The offensive line, the injuries. Now, in a one-week setting, can Jahmyr Gibbs take over? Can the offense still function at a high level? Yes. But the old Lions would have 5 or 6 straight awesome weeks offensively and maybe a dud in there. It's been too up and down offensively. And then same thing defensively. I just think the injuries have caught up in the secondary and everything with Detroit. So I hate to say it because I love the Lions. And I love you Lions fans. I'm going to put them in the pretender category.
I think they're vulnerable, but
they were my Super Bowl pick. Like, so if they went on a run, again, this doesn't mean 0%.
So that's the thing.
They're still contenders.
I think they are one of those teams that's absolutely capable. Like, they're like Buffalo to me, where it's like, sure, it's not what we thought it might be, and now unlike Buffalo, they're actually in danger of not making it at all. But if they went on that run in the playoffs, would it shock you at all? No. I think, to me, they remain contenders.
All right, keep them.
Write them off if you want.
I would never. I'm not writing off Dan and the Lions. All right, Lions are still contenders. They're all contenders. The Bears thing, I think it flipped for me with the Eagles game.
Yeah.
Now, look, do I really think they're going to go make –
win.
I don't think they're going to go make a Super Bowl run. I think if we're being honest about the Bears fans should be incredibly optimistic about
next year.
Ben Johnson, the youth movement, the pass catchers, the way the defense, I would say, has overachieved despite so many injuries on the back end, despite maybe an uneven pass rush. But they are the team, much like the Commanders last year, where if you just look at the underlying metrics, it doesn't add up to a 9-3 record, right? And I know you are what your record is, great, but best turnover margin in the league, tough to sustain, and all of the one-score games, tough to sustain.
I'm not saying this is likely, that they're the number 1 seed right now, but given their schedule, it wouldn't be crazy if they won one of their remaining 5 games. Like, they could be a 10.
The Packers twice.
Yeah. Detroit.
Lions again.
the Lions and the 49ers. And then the Browns, who have even the Browns have a defense that can really get after you. So, like, I'm not saying this is likely, but if this team ended the season with 10 wins, it wouldn't be crazy based off the results that they have, based off the schedule that they have right now. So it's like, they're probably somewhere between that, right? They're probably not. I don't think this is like the Giants from a few years ago where they were clearly a fraudulent football team based off their record, and then they really stamped the fraudulent tag when they beat Minnesota in the playoffs. And then the Giants got, lost the run of themselves and handed Daniel Jones a contract and locked up Saquon. They're like, it's our time. That was a fraudulent football team. I don't think this Chicago team is. I also don't think it's the best team in the NFC.
Yeah. So I'd say the two things that are true about the Bears, and I'll throw them in the contender category because they just beat up on the Eagles in a different style, in a different way. Not even different style, but the run game has been festering, right? For Chicago. This Ben Johnson run game where they showed this toughness and power. Like, they've shown that at points, and they showed it now against a good team. I think the two things that are true is Caleb Williams will still get better.
Yeah.
With Ben Johnson, who's doing a good job from a play calling perspective, and the stuff that's going to regress will regress. So those could cancel each other out. Either way, you're in a good spot, I think, if you're the Bears moving forward.
And the flip side of what I said with their record, though, is if they go out and beat 4 of those teams, now you're looking at them very differently. Like, the thing about this record,
split with the Packers.
Yeah, like they've got they're on a run of 9 wins and 1 loss in the last 10 games. Only really one of those wins is against what you would say is a cast iron good football team, Philadelphia, right? Yeah. And even Philadelphia, we're saying like they're wobbling. Like, so if that's if that's what you're dealing with, that changes if they beat Green Bay once or twice, San Francisco, Detroit. Suddenly then you're saying, okay, this team has now beaten several good football teams in the last few weeks and is on this run of, X wins and Y games. Like, that would change how you view them, I think.
So we're going to go contenders across the board here. Bears, Packers, Lions. The North is
I think so.
NFC South, Bucs and Panthers. I know what you're saying for the Panthers.
I don't think either of them are contenders. With the caveat that I don't have any idea what the Panthers are.
Yeah, the Panthers are too tough to trust week to week. Impressive that they've gotten to 7-6. Impressive that they've done it by beating the Rams and beating the Packers, and at points when essentially their playoff hopes could have been derailed at any point in the last month and a half, and they just showed up and upset the Packers and upset the Rams and kept themselves alive. And they've got the Saints coming off a bye in a couple weeks here, so they could be sitting here at 8-6. But I'd say pretenders for the Panthers. I'm sorry, doctor. Bucs. If you asked me 5 weeks ago, it's probably different.
Yeah, I just don't think they're good enough. Now, look, if they get receivers back and they get a completely healthy, maybe, but I feel like they're kind of where they have been for the last couple of years, which is good, not great.
Yeah, and I thought they had a chance to be a good to great. I thought they had a chance to jump up into the top tier of the NFC this year.
And that was the task,
and early on, they were showing it in wins and losses. But they're doing it with all those injuries on the offensive line, at receiver.
And it's not like they haven't beaten very good teams this year. Like, they won against Seattle, they won against San Francisco. But they've lost to Detroit, they've lost to Philadelphia, they've lost to Buffalo, and that one was, I think, more conclusive than they lost to the Rams. Like, it's not, the balance of wins versus losses against good teams. The loss to the Patriots is starting to look like when they face good teams, they're going to lose those games more often than not.
And then add to this, we had our little Jackson Dart diatribe or whatever. Like, you could have that same conversation with Baker Mayfield, who hates sliding and always is run. All of the special stuff that he did early in the season, scrambling and lowering his shoulder and picking up first downs, started to get banged up. Even before the shoulder injury in the Rams game, he was already banged up. And if you want to have that as like the line where this offense started to become far less consistent, the passing attack was not nearly as good. Was it when he got banged up? Was it the injuries? Was it a combination of those things? That's a factor, though. And even Baker Mayfield, his durability and ability to just stay consistent week to week.
And even if that shoulder injury didn't affect him last week, he's only ever one hit away now from that becoming a problem that exacerbates over the season, and maybe he needs to. It's going to take the offseason for him to get healthy again.
So I'm with you on, let's say, pretenders on both NFC South teams, and then wrap it up with the NFC West. Rams, Seahawks, and Niners. All teams have 9 wins. Niners are 9-4. Rams and Seahawks 9-3.
I think the Rams and the Seahawks are contenders. I think the 49ers are not.
I'm with you as well. They keep winning.
Yeah.
Proving us wrong to a point, right? And stitching it together defensively. When you watch the Rams and Seahawks play and the way they affect opposing offenses with their front four or just their blitz packages or just all of the disruption that they create, the Niners are nowhere near that world, and that's my biggest concern.
They now have a 92% chance of making the playoffs according to NFL.com. So they're probably going to be a playoff team. I just think that defense is a limiting factor to the run they can go on. I don't think that they can live with the best teams in the NFL, that they're going to have to play in the playoffs because their best players on defense have gotten injured and they didn't have great talent outside of those best players.
And then as far as the Rams and Seahawks, again, they had that great game a couple weeks ago. They've got a big Thursday night game coming up in a few weeks here. Rams have championship caliber defense, what they're capable of doing on that side of the ball. Seahawks have the same as far as their defense goes. Rams have high-end potential with their offense, their pass game, and run game. Seahawks' run game isn't very good, but they've created explosives in the pass game. That might be a little fragile. That's what we saw last week with Minnesota. If you don't have the JSN explosives down the field, and it sounds simple, like, oh, just take out JSN. It's not that simple. But are they too fragile offensively? I don't know, but they're good enough, I think, offensively. Darnold's playing really well overall this year, and the defense looks great. So I think the defense, I'll say this about this season, Sam. Rams, Seahawks, what we said in the AFC, Texans, Broncos, I feel better about defense-first teams those 4 teams have this championship caliber defense. And even though the Rams offense is great and the Seahawks offense has been very good, like I feel better about defensively minded teams versus in the past where it's like it'll just be Allen and Mahomes, it'll just be the best offenses. I think a defensive minded team can go on a run this year more than ever. Or the first time since like the 2015 Broncos, we'll say.
I will say that a potential concern with the Seahawks and Darnold is, number one, the Rams, and they may have to get past them again in the playoffs. But generally, we've had a couple of relatively rough games from Darnold recently, and they're against teams that have good defenses. So if that is a thing, and these defensive first teams are more potent this year than they've been in the past, Darnold's going to run into those in the playoffs, and maybe that's when he is not able to do what he's been doing earlier in this season and last year.
I think just generally you don't have this clear, here are the top 5 quarterbacks in the league, and they're all the best teams.
Right.
You don't have that as much this year.
No, now it's like some teams have got the quarterback, some teams have got the defense, some teams have got a little bit of everything. Like it's very. I think that's why it feels so open this year, is that there's nobody that looks like a complete and total football team, but everybody that's got like one really important element of a complete and total football team. Like the Rams would be the team that you're like, they're the closest to just being complete elite across the board, and they just lost to Carolina.
And they did. But like, I don't think you come out of that. You're allowed to keep the Rams atop your power rankings.
Sure.
Right after a loss. Like you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to say they lost to the Panthers. Absolutely true. They turned it over 3 times. Absolutely true. You're also allowed to say that's still the best team in the league. Yeah. Like that one game's not changing my mind. And I think that's fair for the Rams. They've got the best combination of QB that you can win with, pass game, run game, defense. I think they've got the best combo.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video.
Check the Mic is live Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a video.
You heard the man. Subscribe.